Hi, everyone. Lisa Haven here. Well, I came across a report today that you absolutely need to see because it really, well, it's quite morbid, I guess would be the word to describe it, but it describes what humans could potentially look like in the future based off of things like technology, our surroundings, and our current patterns. And so I thought, definitely got to do a report on this with you guys. But before I do, check out my partner and sponsor at noblegoldinvestments.com. If you guys have not gotten a 401k or an IRA that's backed by gold and silver, now is absolutely the time. You do not want to keep everything in the United States dollar, especially in light of what is going on with inflation and our U.S. economy. And right now they are giving away this 3-ounce silver coin with any approved plan. So give them a call. Let them know you heard it on Lisa Haven. And there's also information in the description box below. All right. So let's dive into what humans may look like in the future. Well, the article that I want to start with is one from dailymail.co.uk, because in this article, they have a group of experts that have gotten together and said this is potentially what humans can look like in the future if they continue to do things like this on their cell phones, where we're constantly addicted, if you will, to our cellular devices, to our technology, which a lot of the future generation, unfortunately, as sad as that is, absolutely is. And I have to tell you that it is morbid. It's completely morbid. So just a forewarning on that. But take a look here on dailymail.co.uk. And here's the article. Hunched-backed and wide-necked with a text claw thumb. Grotesque model Mindy reveals what humans could look like in the year 3000, thanks to our reliance on technology. Now, this is just their estimate put together, but in about 800 years, I know none of us will be around at that time, but it's still kind of interesting to think to the future because let me just hit pause before I show you these images because it's going to leave an impact in your mind. But I do believe 100% in microevolution, not macroevolution, not the major stuff through Darwinism. I take the whole Christian viewpoint that God created mankind. But throughout history, there are proven micro changes in humanity. If you, say, live in one area, you may have a lighter skin or a darker skin based off your area that you live in because, say, you catch a lot of sun. Or other things are you have thicker skin having lived in a colder or hotter environment, or thinner skin living in a colder or hotter environment. And also, increasing in size. These are things that, have changed. Microevolution, not to be confused with Darwinism, but they take that into account in this study and they kind of say, okay, if we keep this technology style format going for a couple hundred years, this is what our kids are going to look like. Take a look here. This is it. This is Mindy. I warned you. I did warn you. You could probably throw some hair on her, at least on her head. I don't know. I think one of the products of the future, because everybody's shaving their hair, I think in the future will be a little bit more hairless on our bodies, not necessarily our head. But even if you put hair on this woman thing, whatever it is, Mindy here, it still looks morbid. You can see the hunched over back and the clawed arm here from clawing or holding technology. The hunched over back, because we do that when we're looking at our screens or on our computer screens. We still have our hands clawed when we're at our computer screens. And then it even goes into further detail with the eyes here and says that we'll have an extra layer to protect us from the lights on the screens that we're constantly looking at. So there she is. There's Mindy in her wholehearted appearance. And they're saying in about 800 years. Obviously, we have no flippin' idea what humans are going to look like in the future. But I thought that was like a rather intriguing assessment there. Now, I also went and did a little bit of further research on what, other sites might think that humans may look like in the future, technology-ish aside, or kind of. You can't really put technology aside, but here it is. Message2eagle.com. I found this on it, and this is just his personal or her personal assessment on what humans will look like. And you can see here they think a larger head and bigger eyes. And I happen to agree with this one. Future humans will be taller. Over the past 150 years, the average height of the person in nations has increased by about 10 centimeters. The average American male was 5'7". Today, it's about 5'10". So we seem to be getting taller with time. However, that could change if, say, our bodies, only have grown to certain levels or who knows. But this is just speculation. They also state, again, this is their opinion here, future humans will have larger brains and eyes. I don't know about the brain part. There's a lot of people saying we will have larger brains. I'm a little skeptical there because it seems that we have gone backwards when it comes to brains because now we rely on technology for everything instead of using and expanding our brains. I would beg to differ that they could go smaller. And they also say that our eyes will grow bigger. And they don't really give too much in-depth information on I guess, they say the eyes would grow bigger because the brain grows bigger. I guess that's the concept around it, but it looks a little alien-ish to me. Then they go on, and I do not agree with this one at all. Future humans will have beaks instead of teeth. Yeah, I can't. They're just saying that our teeth will grow stronger and a little bit sharper as we eat. I can't say I agree with that. And then they have this one, future humans will become very strange creatures as the result of genetic engineering in space and travel. And that was their final assessment there. I do think that there's a lot of people out there like the Bill Gates of the world who are constantly pushing, technology, even the Elon Musk of the world, who really are looking into things like transhumanism, implanting the human soul into some kind of robotic body, also intermingling species with or genetically modified food, put that on a human scale, right? Messing with DNA. Something that the Bible absolutely frowns on. I'm not going to mess with my DNA or stick something in my body, but what they're talking about there is you could get some kind of superhumans where humans can decide, hey, I want to, night vision. So I'm going to take the night vision from this particular species and bind it with my human DNA and see what happens as a result of that. And it's just very scary stuff in the future. And by the way, if you're not on Steve Quayle, go to stevequayle.com. He's got really good books on transhumanism, and it's I'll throw it up here. No, he's really actually got great books on transhumanism in his store there. And this is also a great video here that you guys can check out. But anyway, I think that absolutely plays a part. Here's another article I want to show you. This is on the National Geographic. And here's what they're saying about humanity in the future. 4 ways we may or even may not evolve. They get into a couple of things, but here was one of the ones that I definitely agree could be part of our future. And here's what they state. Parents could basically choose which sperm and egg get to meet up to produce a baby based on genetic information and which genes contribute to which physical and mental traits, he said. If the rich and powerful keep the artificial selection technology to themselves, then they could get that kind of split between a kind of upper class dominant population and a lower class genetically oppressed population, he added. And that's terrifying. But I think it's very likely the new genetic technologies will be widespread in their use simply because that's more profitable. So I think there will actually be a leveling effect where both the poor and the rich are going to be able to have the best kids they can genetically. So they're definitely talking about here about parents going and picking genetically, I want a kid with blue eyes, blonde hair, or say green eyes, brown hair, or whatever traits that they want, boy, girl, these kinds of things. I definitely see that happening in our future. And it's scary too. And then also this, I agree with this part of it as well. We're going to get a lot more epidemics, and that's going to increase the importance of our genetic immune system in human survival. So I think our immune systems are going to get stronger. I agree with that wholeheartedly. We also have transhumanism, which I've already spoken about, but this is also in this article, the National Geographic. Transhumanism raises a spectacular array of possibilities from super soldiers and new breeds of athletes to immortal beings who have had their brains scanned atom by atom and transferred their minds to computers. In addition to living forever, are uploaded, beings would be able to travel at the speed of light as an information pattern, download themselves into robots for the occasional stroll through the real world, think faster when running on advanced operating systems, and cut their food budget down to zero. Bostrom images in his paper, The Transhumanist FAQ. Now, obviously, I believe that we're headed in that direction. Unfortunately, I will not touch transhumanism with a 9-foot pole. I want nothing to do with it. I take the Christian aspect. God created us in his image for a reason, not in the image of some robot for our brains to be downloaded. So it's very terrifying technology, but technology nonetheless that they are seeking in our future. Anyhow, wanted to show you guys all of that. I thought it was very interesting with the Mindy hunched over. Oh, that hurts my back just to think about it. I'm like trying to lift my shoulders now. You probably are too. But I just thought it was an interesting article to throw out there to you guys, let you see what humans in the future look like. With that, please don't forget to get to restrictedrepublic.com. We do live streams there, commercial-free content, and we publish exclusive video content that you are not going to get anywhere else because it is exclusive to Restricted. And I got to tell you, with the way things are headed on social media platforms, I just don't know where we're going to end up, where anybody's going to end up. So please start subscribing to these alternative platforms. And right now, you can get it for $50 per year for life, as long as you have it. Use that coupon code FOREVER50. And there's a limited number of those, by the way. Anyhow, I love all of you. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.